All right, here we go with Freestyle Friday of August 20th of 2021. It's Chauncey here, your host, joined by the boss, Brandy. And we're here at Sustain It TV. How's it going, Brandy?
I'm doing well, Chance. How you doing today?
I'm good. Things are afoot. As
Something's
they
good.
say. Yes. We'll see more than something.
Oh,
Don't try to give away my business. You're always trying to put me, as old folks say. But anyway, style today, as usual, we have three different topics. You don't even know the order, Brandy. Look at that. But we are going to start with, all of us have our own ways of navigating the world. And one way that we do it is to navigate our sleep schedule. So, what we have from Science Focus is this title of the article: Early Risers and Night Owls. A neuroscientist explains who is happiest. And they go into all of this stuff. Of course, everybody says the early bird gets the worm and all that stuff. You're grinding, you wake up before the sun and you're so productive. You've heard all these people. I'm going to tell y'all, I'm a night owl. When I hear that, I go to sleep at night. So what they are saying in the article, Brandy, is about 60% of people are neither. Now, I read a book on this, actually. And the numbers were a little different. I think it was 30% of people were early birds, 30% were night owls, and the remaining 40% were in between. And the part of the logic is, if you think of it evolutionarily, you are in a band of people, you have to sleep, but you have to protect the people. So different people are awake while others are asleep, which led to, of course, us having different preferences for when to go to sleep, when to wake up. Even for teenagers, it's a little different. So in the book, it is called this Why We Sleep, I believe the book is the title is. So he talks about how, when you have teenagers going to high school and those timings are off, because really for most of them around midnight is when they should be going to sleep or later. So very interesting. That's my introduction to it. But Brandy, tell us, what are you? I know what you are, but you have to give it away yourself. And what's your sense of this article?
So I'm in the middle. I'm a middle person. I can fake early riser. When I say fake early riser, I can be up and quiet by 6:15, but don't expect me to be functional at 6:15. I could be up and started my morning routine at that time. And only because I started to wake up that early for that purpose, I end up going to bed a little early. But I don't know. It's weird as an entrepreneur, right? Sometimes you have to push past your natural kind of flow. So I think maybe that's why I ended up being a middle person. I can be an early person if I need to. I'm not productive at night, though. And when I say I'm not productive at night, I can go on autopilot at night. So, like, if I'm doing graphic design work at night, if you want me to read and write, don't do it at night. And Chauncey's edited some of my gibberish that I've produced in the nighttime so we can attest to how it's in there, but it's never really great in the after hours. How I feel about that article, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know if we have adopted this early bird gets the worm approach because that's what we've been told all this time. It's kind of like the jack of all trades, master of none quote that everybody hears. And I don't know this quote in its entirety, but what's interesting about that quote is it's an excerpt of the full quote that actually doesn't even really mean what that little excerpt of that quote means. And so, we sometimes get taught these things and we feel like if we don't fall into that little box that like, oh, it must be something wrong with us, when really at the end of the day, we're all individuals. And like you say, Chauncey, he's a night person. I'm a middle of the day person. Randy, one of our team members, is definitely a morning person. As is Renee, is another one person. Andrea, night person, right? So maybe this is a conversation. And you referenced the book While We Sleep and how it talks about the tribe, right? How the people have to have different hours to kind of protect the community. So those are my thoughts. Everybody in your circle should have a different kind of up and down your company little unit so that we can all kind of balance everything out and be okay being who you are. Because sometimes waking up in the morning is just like I say, I don't produce anything good at night.
Yeah. And what I think is, like you said, it's about productivity. So when are you most productive? The problem is, like you were getting at, the world, most of it, is run on a certain schedule where it's morning. So of course they're going to say get up early
Mm-hmm.
because most people are working 9 to 5 ish.
Right.
Exactly. So if you get up before that, you can be more productive because you're not bothered by people. Like that's the logic of it. That doesn't mean it's best for your body and your mind and everything like that. Ain't happening for me unless you pay me a whole bunch. And even then, I'd probably not because I just know too much about it. But anyway, talking about knowing things and communicating with people and finding your tribe, we're now moving to the first of two little articles from What's Trending. And this is the surge of social gaming in times of quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking about the importance of having a tribe even while you're quarantined via, online gaming, the rise of that and how healthy that is. And my thing is, yeah, however, now I won't finish that thought before you talk. So, Brady, what are your thoughts on this?
Okay, so I do think that it's really important to stay connected, well, at any time, but especially during times of quarantine. Especially single people, lots of single people being people that live by themselves, no kids, no partners in the house with them, express feelings of loneliness during this time, and naturally, people want to connect. So yes, stay connected. Do we need to do it via games? That's the question. That's the question that I have, and I don't know. And my challenge is computer fatigue, screen fatigue. The whole idea of I'm in a virtual. I'm doing everything virtually anyway. Like whatever. I'm doing Zoom meetings for work. I'm doing Zoom workouts. I'm doing Zoom church, and then I'm gonna go and more than likely play my game on my computer. I'm going to game all day. I don't know how healthy that way of connecting is consistently. Now, is it nice to have a community, trash talk with your fellow Call of Duty players? That sounds great, but I still feel like there needs to be some boundaries within that part of a wellness strategy if we're talking about trying to stay connected during quarantine.
Yeah. Also, the thing is, if you are on your devices all the time, which in quarantine, of course, it's almost necessary, that can lead to a problem, especially for young men. You can get lost in a loop and you ain't working. Okay, so you need to get out and earn something. Now, that doesn't mean you need to make a lot of money. You need to actually go do something that returns something outside of social gaming. So yes, I mean all of that is important, but I think we need to stop coddling people. You need to get up off your butt and go do something. Figuratively now, some of us, if you work from home, fine. But you need to do something that's bringing something in other than the joy of being with peers online, whatever that is. So yeah, I'm all for social gaming, but we can't be crazy about it. Now, speaking of craziness, our next little article from, again, What's Trending. And our final topic for today is gadgets and products you should try in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, great. Now, the number one product here, and they're not saying it is number one, but the first one they mentioned, I was like, what? Is vaporizers. I'm going to read this paragraph, Brandy. Vaping devices have been getting better and more sophisticated every year, but since about 2015, advances in the product segment have been truly astounding. For many owners of early devices, temperature control was a big problem. Fortunately, it's not an issue with newer offerings, like the Volcano Classic Vaporizer, which maintains totally consistent temperature during the vaporization process. When you shop for vaping devices online, try to narrow your searches down to ones that offer temperature regulation, because many older low-end products do not. Additionally, look for products that are well reviewed by consumers and are sold by companies that have a solid reputation in the industry. What? Now, look, if you want to vape, go ahead, fine, just do it away from me.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't care. But this is the product we need to be looking out for, vaporizers, because now they have temperature control. Not, they might help you to save your health in
Nope.
some way. What? Okay, that's just number one on this list. Then we go to pedometers, at-home blood tests, and house hunting apps. What a list. What are your thoughts about these gadgets and products that you should try in 2021? I think we all need to start our vaping habit.
This vaping thing is that what made the list I was interested. When I first read the article, I was like, is they trying to think of a vapor as an alternative to a diffuser? Because there's been some studies talking about keeping your insides warm, like to kind of kill a virus. I was really trying to understand how vaping make this list and trying to make an article. Maybe people are putting essential oils in it and, cleaning out their passageways. I don't know. Pedometers, people are walking more, getting out and moving around. And so I guess making sure that you have a good pedometer counting your steps, it shows a sense of accomplishment. And maybe if you don't want to take your phone, your devices will connect to devices all the time. We get the pedometer instead, right? What else? Hold on. There was house hunting apps, and what was the other thing?
Blood tests.
Oh, at home. Do we really need to take our blood that off? Like get in-home blood work that often though?
If you want to be a part of the medical industry, yes. If you want them to sell you medical products, yes.
Okay, so yes, all right. Yeah, and I guess people are looking for new places to live, which makes sense though. Because
what's the viability of some of those blood tests anyway? How accurate are they?
No idea. They said random.
You got to be careful out here, everybody.
You do.
It's best to take care of yourself and not let a doctor do it for you. You want to use a doctor when you really need one. Sorry, all you doctors out there.
But I don't know if we should be taking our own blood.
Well, I mean, I would put it this way in favor of that. If you don't have access to a place, if there's not somewhere close to you where you could have your blood drawn and you need that to send it to a doctor, then that makes sense. Doing this, almost cosmetic blood testing, though, I mean, if you want to spend your money that way, just know it might lead to spending money in other ways. Oh, you're deficient in this. Am I?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You talk about this, and there's now somebody was just telling me the other day how their doctor walked them through giving themselves some injection, so that they didn't have to go into the office regularly. So I guess you're right. If you're not somewhere, you could use those type of devices in connection with potentially telemedicine, where someone's actually helping you to make sure you get accurate readings and what have you. So.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
if it's necessary,
right, if needed, not just
what's the level of vitamin C in my blood? Let's not get crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I have a blood pressure pump thing. I just randomly use.
What does that have to do with a blood test?
No, it's just random medical devices I have to store.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, especially if you want to monitor your blood pressure, there are people who need to do that. So that makes sense, and there are certain blood tests that are helpful in certain needed situations, but I'm not a medical professional. What do I know? I don't know anything. So the other one is house hunting apps. And we know that the market in certain places is going nuts. I saw a brand new on CNBC in Boise. It is exploding, the real estate market in Boise. Well, because Boise, you have the downtown area. You also have quick access to hiking and things like that. So, and people from California and so on are moving there. Whatever. It's a lot going on in real estate, not a lot of inventory, a lot of demand, but they're saying it might open up. Regardless, do you think that an app will help you?
Depending on how cool the app is and what kind of features it has, especially if you're doing something remote, like if you're not in the area and it offers some type of 360 tour or virtual 360 tour or data about the area or the neighborhood that you may not know because you're not in that particular community, I think it could be helpful.
Yeah. And what they do, a lot of the apps, they take, a bunch of criteria and then they spit out certain offerings that might work for you based on them. So, I mean, look, it always depends on you, depends on how much you want to spend. It depends on your tolerance. Would you rather work with someone who knows the area? Do you want to develop a relationship with a real estate agent and so on? Or do you just want to do it yourself? You know?
I like the hybrid model personally. I think you do some stuff, some research on your own so that you know what you like. And then you hand it off to a professional. But I just never believe in handing things off to a professional just blindly. That's just a personal thing for me.
Yeah. So, the theme is hybridization here, Brandy. You are saying, hey, don't be a night owl and don't be an early bird. Be both. You're also telling us, hey, when it comes to, doing all of this online stuff, yeah, you need a bit of balance in social gaming, but you also need to get off your butt. And then we're seeing here for gadgets and products, hey, pick the ones that are best for you. If you want to start a vaping habit, they recommend it. So
as long as you can control the temperature.
Right. Yeah. The temperature is the issue. That's the issue. So now that we've ironed that out, we could all get into the vaping industry.
I love it.
So there we go with our Freestyle Friday. We'll be back next Friday. Who knows what I'm going to say? We know Brandy's going to be responsible, though.
It's my job, guys.
That's your job. All right. Thank you, my friend. I'll see you next time.
Later.
Bye.